Welcome to episode 4, Lunch with Lawrence, featuring special guest, Meechie Francis, aka Meechie, also known as Mad About Meechie. Meechie, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling good?
Yes.
Thank you for coming to my home today to be on my podcast.
No problem. I barely made it, but I'm here.
Yes. So talk to me, man. Where did you just come from? Where were you at?
LA.
LA.
And I literally just got back a few hours ago and tried to get a little sleep in before I got here. So
I feel honored and I feel special that you came coming back from LA. So I did see that on your post the other day. We're gonna get into some stuff, but I did see that on your post that you had to fly out to LA for a quick business inventory because a shipment got messed up or something like that.
Things happen in this business. And that's why I don't like ordering online.
Okay.
It's convenient, but when you get the items, it looks nothing like what they're advertising on the site. So I had purchased all this summer stuff, and absolutely none of it looked like it was supposed to look. And it didn't represent posh. It didn't represent posh. So we have to ship it back. And I just had to take a last-minute flight out to LA and purchase some items for the store.
So we're going to get into the whole posh things. I know you have multiple businesses, or you created and started multiple businesses, so I want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But first, let's get into, you have been an entrepreneur for, 20-plus years?
Yes.
Take me back to, how you got introduced to entrepreneurship. Where did it all start?
So me becoming an entrepreneur was really just God's plan. I never said, okay, I want to, when I grow up, I want to own a salon. It just happened. The only career I've ever had since graduating out of high school is I've always been a hairstylist. I've never worked any other job.
Hold on, so you never had a 9-to-5 before?
I've had 9-to-5s, but the last 9-to-5 I worked, I was 17 years old.
Wow.
So from the age of 18 so now I've just been a hairstylist.
Wow, so that's only been 10 years? Because, you probably, about 27, Meechie, 28?
Whatever. I'm proud of my age. I'm 46, so
oh, man, you look great.
I've been in this game for a long time.
You're killing it. You are killing it. You are killing the game, man. So was it always hair for you? You just started off doing hair when you were in high school?
I had my first paying client at the age of 12.
What?
Yeah. It's so crazy. This is just my life. This is just who I am. Even as a child, my mom would purchase me, Barbie dolls and stuff. I would comb their hair. That was my thing.
So it was just in you.
Yeah. I was the older cousin at 12. If I would be babysitting a younger cousin, I would comb their hair.
Wow.
That's just been my thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but I never said, when I grow up, I want to open up a salon. I never even considered being a hairstylist, honestly, until my senior year in high school, because I had applied for college and everything because I wanted to be an accountant, because I'm obsessed with numbers.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And it works for the business I'm in. So
That's funny. When I graduated from high school, I went to college for 1 year. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer because it looked good on paper, and I'm a college dropout, 1 year of college under my belt. And that's all it took for me. And I was like, man, listen, I'm cool on school. I'm going to figure this thing out. And I had a few jobs before I got into the real estate career. But, for me, entrepreneurship has always been the go-to, the thing to do. So when you graduated high school, you started working in a salon first?
When I graduated high school, look, let me go back. We're talking 93.
Ooh.
So when I graduated high school, I actually was pregnant when I walked the stage. I was pregnant with my daughter. So I had to wait a couple of months. Then I started hair school. Okay. So I didn't actually get into a salon until 94.
Wow.
Yeah, so my first salon, I was 94 after I graduated.
You were working in a salon under somebody else?
Yeah, with no license. They let me work in their salon with no license. But that only lasts for a few months before I actually got my license. Yeah.
And then, so how long were you working there, or did you switch up salons before you started your bread and butter? The first salon is Headlines by DeFranco, right? Or no?
Yeah, well, it was a different name at the time, but
so
it was it was always Headlines, but it always had something else, hair and nail studio and all that stuff.
Okay, so how did we come? How did Headlines by DeFranco come to play?
Okay, so the first salon I worked at, well, it was actually the second salon I worked at. It was called Picture Perfect. I absolutely loved it. I built a lot of great relationships at that salon, but they end up shutting down because it was in Cleveland Heights, and they started building these like townhomes, so they tore down the entire plaza. So I had to leave and find somewhere else to work. I was at that salon maybe like a year and a half. But I found myself jumping from salon to salon, just trying to get comfortable in other spaces, and it just was not working for me. So that's when the idea, like, hey, I'm just going to get my own salon. Okay. And I was 21 at the time, but my salon didn't actually open until I was 22.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Similar stories with me. Like, I was 21 when I was working, but I was 21 when I first got into the real estate business, and then by the time I was 22, that's when I quit my job. And so I kind of like full-fledged real estate going from there. But you were 22 when you opened your first
when I opened my business
salon. So where was the first location at?
The first location was like borderline Cleveland Heights, East Cleveland. It was on Noble Road. Okay. There were a couple other salons that had opened up around that time, and I'll never forget this guy. He was super popular. He opened up this really like exclusive salon across the street from me, and one of his people told me like, oh, she's never gonna make it as long as we're across the street from her. And that just like, it wasn't my drive, but I never forgot that, you know, and I'm still here today.
Man, listen, killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it. Yeah. That's a blessing. So, Headlines by DeFranco was up and running for, how long did you have that salon going for?
So Headlines, we didn't become Headlines by DeFranco until, I want to say when I got my Mayfield location, because I had 3 locations at one time. So 2000, I wouldn't recommend that.
Well, I want to talk about it.
I wouldn't recommend
I want to talk about it. You had 3 locations. Mm-hmm.
3
were
locations.
They all full with stylists?
No. So 2008, if you can recall, we went into a recession.
Yes.
So I had just opened up my 3rd salon in 2008, and it was huge. Okay. Like, I'm talking 28 position salon. Wow. So I still had the Noble Road, which was like a 12-seater. Yeah. I had Mayfield at that time, which was like a 10 or 11 seater. Then I opened up this huge 28 seat salon. Yeah. So I had people at each location, but none of them were completely filled up. So, you know, during the recession, I'm just like, okay, this is too much overhead. You know, and so, and one thing I always want to tell entrepreneurs is don't let your pride allow you to make stupid decisions.
It's a fact.
You know, it's nothing wrong with selling something, getting rid of something, lowering your overhead, making a smarter decision. Yeah. So I end up actually selling the Noble Road location to one of the young ladies that was working there. Amazing young lady. Actually, Rashonda. She's about to get married.
Yeah, shout out to Rashonda.
Yeah, so she actually purchased my Noble Road location. I ended up turning the Mayfield Road into a barbershop. You know, so now it's like, okay, now I can get my stylist to come out here if they choose to, and then I could just focus on having barbers there. So 2008, it pretty much turned into me having, you know, I sold one location, had a barbershop, then I had the large salon space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you have a mentor when you was going through all this, or you was just figuring this out on your own? Like
I did not have a mentor. Yeah. I had a great support system. I have great friends, you know, that I may run ideas by and get their opinion, but I can't even, like, in hindsight, just thinking about how I ran a business at the age of 22, like, I look at 22-year-old girls now and, you know, they still having fun, they still turning up. Right. And I was running a whole business. Like,
whole operation.
Yeah. I don't understand how I did it.
That's crazy.
I mean, I know how I did it by the grace of God. But,
when you look back at it, it's just like, man.
Like, what the heck?
That's major.
Yeah.
That's major.
Yeah, but I think I've just always been obsessed with just like, I don't want to say success, but just accomplishing great things.
So how was that though? Also at the same time being a young mom, because now your daughter is here, right? And you're operating these businesses, and then you have a child to care for. Like, what was that like?
I didn't really think about it at the time. Like, it didn't really seem tough because you know, my daughter, one thing about me is she didn't jump around from a bunch of homes, but I was a full-time hairstylist. So at 22, you don't really think about, hey, your child needs you. I'm 22, so my daughter was about 3 or 4. So I missed out on so much with her as a kid that even to this day, you know, I regret. But when I was working, like, she would either be with my mother or she would be with her aunt on her dad's side. I was a single parent, you know, which most girls, we get ourselves in these situations. We fall in love, have a baby by God, and he ain't nowhere to be found. But I was never that person who blamed him. I always told myself, like, you know, you chose him. You know, you should have did your research. So suck it up and do what you got to do. So I did a great job as a single parent, but I wish I would have done more as far as the time. I feel like I lost a lot of time. And she became like a salon baby. She spent a lot of time in the salon, which, you know, even now, Tiana, she knows the salon like the back of her hand.
That's dope.
She wants nothing to do with hair, and I really wish she did because I could have passed that on, but she wants nothing to do with hair. But she definitely grew up a salon baby.
Yeah, your daughter, you know, I follow your daughter on Instagram. We had a few conversations, man. Very, very dope just to see you two. Like, I see her doing her thing. When she hit the DJ thing too, I'm like, that's raw. Yeah. You know, so she's that's what's up.
She's multi-talented.
Yeah.
She's multi-talented. Like, I don't even think she understands how talented and gifted she is. She can do so much.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you went from headlines, and you had the headlines for a long time, and then you ended up going to another business. Now it was Posh. Posh come after headlines.
Yes.
Posh Collection.
Posh Collection. Yeah.
How did Posh Collection start? Now, tell me what Posh Collection is.
So Posh Collection is a women's boutique. We retail hair extensions, wigs, and apparel.
Man, so hair is always going to be in there.
That ain't going nowhere.
Because one, the hair industry is $1 billion industry.
Yes, it is.
And you tapped into it. Very good.
Yeah.
Very well. Very well. She's tapped into the hair industry. A lot of people can learn from you, man, when it comes to that. So, Posh Collection. Why did you start Posh Collection? Why? Where did that come from?
Posh was another one of those things that just happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so crazy. Like, I never just planned these things out. They just happened. It's so crazy how Posh came up. Like Instagram, how people did the hashtags and all this stuff. So I used to, like, if I had on a cute outfit, I would just want a hashtag. So I asked my friends, like, how do this sound poshed up? I would just put hashtag poshed up. Yeah. You know, if I'm dressed up looking cute, poshed up. Yeah. Then one day, a friend of mine at the time, she told me I should start selling hair bundles. I didn't really think about it, started selling hair bundles. So then when it was time to actually open up the location or give the brand a name, I thought about Posh. But I didn't want to call it Poshed Up, so I just called it Posh Collection.
Okay.
So Posh Collection started from a hashtag.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you just ran with it, one thing I want to teach people mainly is, like, if you have an idea, put it, like, just execute it. Just do it. Like, you came up with Posh, and then what? You went searching for real estate. You got the LLC. Like, what was, like, the steps to actually obtaining Posh to get the brick and mortar?
Well, the LLC is the easy part.
Yeah.
You pay a couple of dollars, and anybody can get an LLC. Yeah. But running a brick and mortar is the most complicated part of owning a business because you have to have staff. And one thing I did, I opened up Posh Collection, the physical location, because I did just do it online before I opened up a physical location. So I opened up the location in 2015, and I moved to LA in 2015.
I want to talk about that too. Yes.
I literally opened up Posh in June.
Yeah.
I had gotten an apartment in April, and I left probably like July, August. And
you was out of here.
I was out of here, but I'm like, why did I do that? You know, I left my family and friends to pretty much run my business. Yeah. And it hurted a little bit. I didn't know it hurt until I came back and realized how much money I was actually supposed to be making had I been super hands-on with it. Yeah. Because a lot of people, including myself, we just open up businesses and we think it's just gonna run itself. It's not. It's not. You're the brand. Yeah. You're the one who has to.
You gotta put that work in.
Exactly.
You gotta put that work in.
Exactly. So the numbers are completely different now than they were when I first opened up.
So So why LA? Like, what was that transition for? Like, why did you leave Cleveland? You had at the time you still had the Francos, right? Headlines.
Yeah.
So you had Headlines, Posh. So business had to be doing good because LA's not cheap.
LA is not cheap at
LA's
all.
not cheap. I think I seen you out there. You had a Maserati truck or a G-Wagon or something.
But when I had the same thing. You had the G-Wagon. I seen you out there.
I'm just now getting one, so that means that lets you know who I'm dealing with. That lets you know who's my guest is here today. Because you know what I'm saying, she had it when it first came out. I'm years later in the game, but so you had Headlines, you had Posh, and then now you are in LA. So what was that LA life like, and what was it about LA that made you go out there?
I literally woke up one morning and I just said I'm moving. What I used to listen to a lot of like TD Jakes, like when I'm getting dressed. Sometimes you gotta listen to something positive just to get through the day. And he was talking about a lion being in a cage, and when I heard that, it made me, I felt like he was really speaking to me as far as a lion being in a cage. Like, a lion doesn't know their potential, just being in a cage. Like, you're cool being in a cage, but because you've never been out in the jungle, you don't realize what a lion is capable of doing. So the way that spoke to me was almost like I put myself in this cage, just kind of like, and then now when I think about it, I still don't have a clear understanding of why that message stood out to me. I'm not even sure if I've accomplished what that message was about, but I don't think it was about LA. So me moving out there was more so me feeling like a cage in Cleveland. Like, okay, I've done all I could possibly do. There has to be more. Let me venture off and do something else. But me going out to LA, I didn't even like LA when I got out there. I had more jobs that required me to go to LA before I even moved to LA. So I was doing a lot of traveling. I worked with a lot of celebrities before I moved to LA. When I actually got out there, I just had like a couple of clients that I would work with on video shoots and stuff. So LA wasn't paying me enough to live the LA lifestyle. So my Cleveland income had to pay for my LA lifestyle.
So you moved out to LA. At the time, you had Headlines, and then you had Posh, and then you moved back to Cleveland to focus on both businesses. Or more so,
I came back to Cleveland really because I didn't like LA as much as I thought I would, and I had just kind of like gotten into dating a particular person, so I kind of moved back to Cleveland to be in a relationship.
Okay. When you came back to Cleveland, you were dating, right? You've been single for some time, so you
4 months now.
4 months now. Okay. Well, I'm talking about before, like.
Oh, before I moved out.
Yeah, when you were in LA, were you single at the time?
Yeah, I was single at the time in LA. Okay. Yeah, LA dating scene was trash.
I heard it's tough. Yeah. I got some friends out there.
Yeah.
I heard the LA dating scene is pretty hard, and for both men and women.
Yeah, but I think it's worse for single black women, honestly. Yeah. We're not in high demand out there.
And that's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So you back in Cleveland. You got the businesses going, and now you're into a relationship. How long did that last for?
How long did my relationship last?
Yeah.
Well, my relationship lasts for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all was kicking it tough.
Yeah, we was kicking it tough. Yeah.
4 years, and so that's over with.
That's over with.
So now you back single.
I'm back single.
You on the market.
I am.
Okay. So one of the things that I want to know from an entrepreneur standpoint is like, how is the dating scene? I'm single as well, right? I was married, and my ex-wife, wife at the time, we got divorced. Really good friends to this day. But I dated literally a month after my divorce for a year, and it just didn't work out. So now I'm at a place now where it's like,
look, of course it did. You hadn't healed. You hadn't healed.
Yeah, I was.
How long were you married?
Yeah, 5 years.
Oh,
5
no.
years. So it was just 5 years.
You was trying to ease the pain.
Yeah, so now I'm at a place now where I'm not dating anybody. I'm at a place where like I could go out to dinner with somebody here and there, but that's like really it. Nothing. I don't want to be on the phone with somebody every day and every night and all that. But from an entrepreneur standpoint, as a single, successful black woman in Cleveland, how is the dating scene?
They at me now. They be at me.
ask you like from different states, different cities.
Different states, yeah. They add me, but I just want to do things differently than before because I am horrible with my picker is so off.
Yeah, and that's what I want. That's what I want to ask you. Like, and that's why I want to still kind of focus around like entrepreneur because you're an entrepreneur. So a woman and you're right. With what all you got going on, like, what is it that you look for as a man? Like, do you need to be with a man that's also an entrepreneur, or you could be with the working man that is, he's in his career, but he also has a job. Probably a good paying job, but he still has to, he just can't up and travel when he wants to, and he has to, be locked down by certain parameters of his job. Like, what do you specifically want or look for?
So to be honest, I'll just speak like from my past experiences. Like, I have an issue with dating potential instead of just accepting people for face value. And that's not an insult to anyone I've ever dated. It's just the people that I've dated we shouldn't have dated. I almost take a person like, okay, well, this is cool, but I could do something with this, and this. Yeah. And that's terrible. Yeah. That's terrible. But I've always kind of underestimated the type of man I deserve because I never wanted to be known as this girl who was just like a gold digger. So I almost never dated guys who just had money. But I always knew with the money came women. That's in my head. In my head, it's, if he has a lot of money, it's going to be a lot of problems and a lot of women to come along with it. So I felt like I stayed in this comfort zone of, okay, well, let me date somebody that's doing well, but not too well to where it's going to draw too much attention. That might be a self-esteem issue.
Date well, but not too well.
Yeah, that might be a self-esteem issue. But now I'm at the point where it's like, I want everything that I deserve.
I know that's right. You should.
I put so much into a relationship. I love super hard. Yeah. I'm definitely wife material. I cook, put the plate on the table, all that stuff.
I don't even know sign. I don't know what signs are, but what's your sign?
I'm Aquarius.
Aquarius. What month is that?
February.
Okay.
Like the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay. Yeah. So high demand. Like I do it all. Like, you wifey material. You're gonna need somebody who's gonna step up to the plate and appreciate that. Yeah.
But I want someone at this point in my life now to really just take care of me. And taking care of me doesn't mean, taking me shopping, buying me bags. Although that is great. I would love to have that. But I just really mean like the man who, he's just going to be my king. Yes. And he just appreciates and takes pride in actually taking care of his woman, so that's what I want now, and I'm not selling for anything else. If I have to be single, hopefully not for the rest of my life, Lord, please. But I'm willing to wait on that because my picker is so off. But it's like now I'm on point. Like Meechie, you could do bad by yourself, but you're doing so well. I take care of myself. So if somebody can't come into my life and do more for me than what I can do for myself,
what's the point?
I'm not on it.
What's the point? I agree 110%. I feel the same way. Like for me, if I decided to go out into the dating world, I know the potential I bring with 3 children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still know that I bring a lot to the table. So if I was going to get out into the world, the dating scene, and date somebody seriously, I would want to date somebody who we could both lift each other up. Exactly. And not just financially, but just everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important. But that's good. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that with me. Yeah. So a few more things I want to hit on, right? So right now you have Potch Collection. You just opened up a brand new business that I'm going to come check out. Okay. The Franco Salon Suites. Yes. So, I mean, everything with hair. One, I mean, you listen, you got this stuff on lock. So where is the Franco Salon Suites located? How many suites are in there? Like, and how did this idea come about?
Okay, so DeFranco Salon Suites is the same location of Headlines by DeFranco.
Same place?
Yeah. Oh. We just totally did a complete demolition. Okay. Came in, ripped everything out. Okay. So it's still in Richmond Heights, across the street from Richmond Mall on Wilson Mills Road, right next door to Posh. Yeah. Nice. So I had the idea of Salon Suites like back in 2019. But I kept battling back and forth with it because for a moment I just wanted to completely get out of the hair industry. I was so overwhelmed. Like,
I remember seeing that.
Yeah. Like I was completely overwhelmed to where I just walked from behind the styling chair for a while. I didn't give my clients a huge notice. It was just like, okay, I'm retiring from here. Because I had to eliminate something.
Like when Jay-Z first retired from the rap game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's probably the same thing he went through. It probably was just something that had him stressed out, or it was overwhelming, and it almost just makes you think, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's not that you don't want to do it anymore. You just have to find another way to do it that's not going to take so much of yourself from you. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was at for a minute, just want to completely shut down. Like, I literally went looking for other locations. I was going to downsize. Yeah. I was going to shut down. But my tribe, I had too many people that still depended on me. Like, I really felt like if I would have closed my salon down, I would have left so many of my friends, because we built a community. My stylist, like, I have great relationships with my stylist, and I really felt like if I closed down, I'm just about to leave them out here in the streets. So I couldn't do it.
That's major of you. Yeah. That's major of you to have that thought and that care where it's like, nah, I want to make sure that my people are good. You know, even though it's costing you more money and more stress and more time and more everything.
But I love
you.
Caring for people. Yeah. I just do.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate, like, being that person that people can kind of come to, and I can kind of help them with their issues or just anything. But I just felt like I couldn't leave them out in the streets like that. So it was more so for them than it was for me. But it actually brought peace back to me, because now I'm back doing hair. Because now I don't have to stand at my styling chair and, you know, make sure my client is good and make sure my stylist, we're all in the same big room, make sure they're good. And every person that walks in the door, hi, good morning, how are you? Because there's no way I could let someone walk into my salon and I not speak to them. So it's like, I'm trying to do hair, trying to make sure the atmosphere is good for my stylist, and I'm still trying to greet every single person that walks in the door. Micromanaging all day long, that make your brain just explode. But now that the suites are open, now I'm in my own little private space, it just took so much stress off me, and it allowed me to become a hairstylist again.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a few more questions. So hairstylists and clients, right? So you just have a small select clientele now. Like, are you doing hair every day, or are you pretty much like, I have a few clients where I'm doing their hair every other week, once a month?
I have a few clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you learn the business, you try to capitalize and make as much money and use as least amount of your time as possible. And I try to teach this to my stylists, like, you cannot work behind a styling chair from 9 a.m. to midnight for the rest of your life. You can't get where you trying to get doing that, because now you're exhausted. Now you can't even enjoy the money that you make because you're exhausted. So you have to find smarter ways to make money. And for me, Posh Collection was the smartest thing I could have did as far as business that I know of at this moment.
And you basically just scaled the business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, that is, I'm really big on that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. 15 years in the real estate business is, I'm learning, I've been learning it forever, but really just how to, like, step outside my business and look at what's going on. Because with my business, I mean, I was working like crazy. Even to this day, I was, the other night, I was up until 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Had to get back up at 8, get the kids together, get them gone so I could come back here and shoot Lunch with Lawrence episode 3 I had with Tone yesterday. And then, you know, get the kids, and then it's like I'm up working all night. But now I'm hiring people and bringing people in and building a solid team, where it's like, man, like, I was on vacation a week or so ago, and, like, stuff was just getting done. Yeah. And it felt so good just knowing that people moving in and rents is being collected and properties are being shown and maintenance is being taken care of, because my team taking care of everything.
That's true.
So it's dope. So second question is, I wanted to talk about just multiple streams of income. And one of the things that I see certain entrepreneurs do is, when you're good at one thing in, like, one industry, how that one industry could create multiple streams of income. So for me, standing out looking at your business, I see the Franco Salon Suites. I'm pretty sure everybody in there has a booth rent or suite rent, whatever you want to call it, that they have to pay, right?
Right.
Then you have your, you're still doing hair. You have a select clientele that you're doing, so that's income there, right? Then you got Posh Collection. You got the income from the bundles. You got the income from the clothing, you got the income from the units.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So is there anything else that I'm missing that you got your
hands
right in?
Now.
Yeah, because
right
it's like take something and you know, build up that clientele and create those streams of income. So you just, like you said, you're not on your feet all day from 9 a.m. to midnight doing hair, only getting one stream of income.
That's over with.
You know, it's over with.
Like, over with.
Yeah. So
I work behind a styling chair 2 days now.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
But my clients, they appreciate me so much, and I love them dearly for even allowing me to take that break that I needed. But the price definitely went up in order for me to come back.
Has to.
So it's like, you know, back in the day, we used to brag about, I got 15 clients today. I got 20 clients today. I got 4.
Right.
And I'm still making what I made when I had 20.
Period.
Yeah. So, but you have to grow to that point.
Yes.
So I don't want anyone to think that you're supposed to walk right in the door as a hairstylist and that's how it's supposed to be. You have to put your time in. You have to put your work in. But you have to allow yourself to graduate to that point. Like, don't get stuck, you know, breaking your body down to where you can't even enjoy life because you're too busy chasing money. I'm not doing that no more.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Last question, second to last question. So I lied. I said I had 3, I got 4.
I'm here. Whatever.
Yeah. So no, I got 2 more questions. If you had to do it all over again, would you would you change something? Would you change anything? Like from the beginning
of my business?
Yeah, like if you had to do it all over again from high school to where you are now, as far as the business side, like of course you're still pregnant, you still had your daughter, like that's not changing, but from working in the salons to starting headlines to everything, like to the different businesses that you open, would you do anything different?
The first thing that came to mind is, of course, I'm not, you know, as far as my daughter, I would have loved for that situation to have changed, to spend less time in the salon and more time, you know, with her. From a business perspective, I wish I would have learned more about the business prior to jumping in. Of course, we learn from our mistakes or our experiences, but what I would tell an entrepreneur is I've always had great credit. Take pride in having great credit, but I never took advantage of using the bank's money. I opened up my businesses with my own money. Wow. So if I would tell entrepreneurs one thing, it would be make sure you have great credit. Get that LLC in the beginning, those business accounts. That way you can, you know, build something with the bank. Lord, my brain. A relationship with the bank. Lord, build a relationship with the bank. Get those lines of credit and open up your business using the bank money. That way you keep your money and you do other things with it. But I think that was one of the things that I just hated that I did, is when I used to open up these huge salons, I was actually using my own money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I learned towards the end. I learned towards the end.
It's never too late to learn. Listen, you could be in the business 20, 30, 40 years. You are still learning. Yeah. It's a learning process.
Yeah.
And it's new stuff every time.
Yeah, but there's more to come, so I'm definitely, I'm good now. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm good now.
Last question. Cleveland. You know, you've been in Cleveland all your life, right? You born and raised?
I am not born. I was not born in Cleveland.
Where you?
I am from Mississippi.
Swear.
Canton, Mississippi at that, which is
I don't know where that's at.
Exactly. You heard of Jackson, Mississippi, right? Okay, so Canton is like 20 miles away from Jackson. Like my father actually still lives in Jackson, Mississippi. Wow. I have cousins, aunts. The majority of my family is still in Canton and Jackson, Mississippi. Canton, we don't even have sidewalks, red dirt, all that. Like I'm telling you, the city's so small, everybody knows everybody. Yeah. I hate going there. Yeah. I hate it.
Oh, you're like a celebrity when you're in town. I'm pretty sure you are. You're
But I was born in Mississippi. I lived there 2 years. Okay. I lived in Chicago a year, Florida a year. I lived in Kansas City, Missouri prior to coming to Cleveland. So I was in Kansas City, Missouri about between 10 and 12 years. So I moved here from there. Yeah. So I moved to Cleveland when I was 14.
And you've been in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about Cleveland, the city in the whole, when it comes to support, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to, you know, like Black excellence? Like, how do you know? I know I threw a lot in there. That's a kind of a thick question, but like, what's your overall take about the city of Cleveland?
I think it's easy to make money in Cleveland. Unfortunately, I don't want to say there's not a lot of competition, but when I say that, I'm speaking of bigger cities. You know, like say Cleveland, you know, people look at Meechie as Mother Meechie. You know, she been doing her thing in the hair industry, but I could go somewhere else and nobody would know my name. Nobody, they'll be like, who the heck is Meechie? Right. You know, so I think there is a ceiling that's put on that's put on Cleveland. You could easily bump your head if you're doing too much. You know, you can't grow. You know, so I feel like I've been at that point for a while. Like I can't grow and really just do what I need to do in Cleveland. But I'm loyal to Cleveland because Cleveland has been great to me as far as family, as far as friends, and finances. Yes. But I know that this is not it for me.
Yeah. You know, listen, people, I know you hit me up. We talked maybe a couple weeks ago about moving. Mm-hmm. You know, so where do you think you're gonna go? Where do you think you're gonna end up?
I'm going to Atlanta.
Hey.
Yeah. I actually got my place. I actually found my place.
So you would have got it?
Yeah, I put the deposit on it and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what's up. I'm in the A every other week, all the time. So I'm practically down there. I was looking at places down there. Kind of still am. So, you know, we'll see. Cleveland's definitely my hometown for sure. But, you know, when you're an entrepreneur and you're making good money, you can live in multiple places.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people, too. It's like, because the one person who I think she hates when I decide to leave because she hated when I went to L.A. is my mother. But I said as long as my mother is above ground, I will never just go away from Cleveland and never come back because I love my family. Yes. I truly love my family. I have a great relationship with my family and friends. So Cleveland is always going to be home. Yes. But for me to fulfill the things I feel like I'm missing, Cleveland can't give it to me.
Hey, listen, that's real. That's real talk. You know, Meechie, I am happy that you came here for episode 4, Lunch for Lawrence. But as you know, I'm here to serve lunch and have lunch with you. So we're going to have lunch and break bread and, you know, go from there.
Perfect,
thank you.
Because I'm hungry.
All right. And so today I brought in Chef Jamie Smith with Next Level Catering, who prepared us a wonderful lunch. I'm excited to bring her on in. Jamie, let's see what you got today.